You are listening to From Ring to Veil.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Kim.
And we are your wedding planning gurus.
We take the stress out
and put the fun back into wedding planning. Minimoons and Pop-Up Weddings in Texas, episode number 151.
So I know I told you guys this already, but I apologize for the sound quality of my mic specifically because for some reason it was way too loud and I didn't realize that until I listened to afterwards. And I don't know how it got that way, but I'm sorry. And from now on, I am checking it every time. I apologize.
It didn't sound any different on this end, so.
See, yeah, you couldn't hear it for some reason. I don't know why.
Nah.
Technology, we love it. We hate it. Can't live with it. Can't live without it. So,
yeah, we're having technological problems this morning.
Yes. Skype rocks when it works. And it sucks when it doesn't. So anyway, enough complaining about that. But I just wanted to apologize. We thought since Shannon now lives back in Texas and we both somewhat know the area pretty well, fairly well. You're probably learning it a lot better now, that we might start adding some Texas shows in. So for our Texas listeners, we have a Pop-Up Weddings and Minimoons in Texas for you. And we've actually been to some of these places. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I know. There was a question on one of the boards that we followed this morning. So I got to get this out there.
Oh, okay.
She asked, is it bad to ask for honeymoon money instead of gifts? Because they want to go on a honeymoon, but they can't really afford a long, drawn-out honeymoon, for like a week or whatever. And I said, I told her there were registries, and I said, there's no problem with asking for money. Say, just ask for money or, register for a honeymoon fund.
Exactly. And let everybody know that, though. I think that's the point. You have to let them know and be like, in lieu of gifts, we really want to go on a honeymoon. We have a honeymoon fund set up here, whatever.
Yeah, and then, make sure you set up the honeymoon and send the link in your invitation or whatever. That's not faux pas, believe me. Everybody wants to know what to get you because no one knows. And so, putting it in your invitations is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think even if you were wanting to purchase a new home, that would be just fine if you have some kind of a fund set up and let everybody know this is what we want. We have everything we need. Please, if you want to give us a gift, this is what we're asking for.
Right.
I like that myself because then you really know what they want and need.
Right. And plus, if you can't, afford to take a week off or whatever, you can do a mini moon.
Absolutely.
So we're going to tell you about some day trips in Texas and also some resorts that you can stay the weekend at or whatever.
And when we say mini moon, we've talked about these before. What we just mean is a mini honeymoon. Like instead of a huge long week or two, you can go for the weekend.
Right.
That's what I had to do. We had to go back to school on Monday.
Yeah, so did Jeremy when we got married. He had to go back to school on Monday.
But it turned out nice.
Yeah.
If I do say so. All right, so let's get started. These are some of the top resorts in the state of Texas. The first one that we have is in the Woodlands, Texas, and that's near Houston, right?
Yes, it's a suburb of North Houston.
Okay. It's called the Woodlands Resort.
And it has... I got a lot of this information on TripAdvisor, so if you want to go there, we'll have the link. There's more on here than we put on our podcast. So it gives 4 stars, I guess. They don't use stars, but it looks like little eyes. So, but anyway, it gets 4 stars from TripAdvisor, which is really pretty good.
Yeah, actually.
And it's, because it's mainly done off ratings of people. They have luxurious rooms. They have all the way from, just the standard room all the way to like a penthouse suite that's like almost $1,000 a night. So there's quite a range there of rooms available to stay in. It has a spa, of course. It has pools.
dining, and golf. Of course, that's a big deal there. And really, really nice rooms. Even their deluxe rooms and just regular rooms are really nice. But then they have like pool walkout rooms. You just walk out and go hang out in the pool.
Yeah. And of course it has a bar and a lounge. And it's not that far from Houston. It's about a 30, 45-minute drive to Houston if you want to go do a little bit of exploring.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Next one on the list. Hyatt Hill Country Resort and Spa in San Antonio. That's Shannon's old stomping grounds. Not mine. They're all resorts and spas, so they're all going to have really nice rooms. They're all going to have bars and places to eat.
Multiple pools usually. And of course, most of the hill country resorts and things like that have golf. So,
right.
Each of you like golf, then there you go.
Exactly. What's neat about this one has a guest cottage. It's really cute. I know it's for your honeymoon, but if you have more than just the two of you, there's plenty of room.
And also it has what they call a lazy river where you can just float in a tube around a lazy river so you can relax. And it's close to Six Flags.
Oh, that's right.
And SeaWorld.
Hey, if you're taking a weekend away, that would be kind of fun. And of course, they have a lot of museums and zoos, and of course, the river walk and stuff like that you could do. And I also see here that they're having a Thanksgiving brunch, so that gives them a couple more points in my book. And of course, the spa.
Yeah, the spa. You always need a spa because you're so stressed out, before your wedding. Going to a place with a spa so you can have massages and facials to help you relax is always a good thing.
Much. And you know what all these places have is they usually have wedding packages. So even if you're not having your wedding there, they might have a honeymoon package too. So if you really like one of these places, I would contact them to see if they have a honeymoon package.
So the next one is the Hotel Galvez and Spa, which is a Wyndham Grand Resort Hotel. And it's in Galveston.
It's got lots of big palm trees and stuff. It's really pretty.
It is very pretty. And it's right on the seawall. You're not directly on the beach because, Galveston has the seawall and it's not, everything's across the street from Seawall Boulevard because, there's hurricanes and wind. And so.
But it's beautiful.
Right.
They do have some really gorgeous balconies and stuff up there. I love it.
So if you like, the beach scene, there are some good beaches around Galveston that you can go to.
Of course, the spa is, fantastic. Great rooms, beautiful rooms. They're very beachy, clean looking.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense to you at all.
They're not all cluttered but they're homey and relaxing.
Right.
A good thing about this one is because if you drive, they have free parking, which most resorts do not have free parking. You have to pay for valet. So, hey.
That's a very good point to make. Geez, because sometimes it's more for the parking than it is for the actual room.
And of course, there's all kinds of things to do on Galveston Island. There's the Strand, which is a historic district. And then you have the beach, of course. And you can go to Moody Gardens, and there's a Slitterbahn there. And so,
Woohoo, Slitterbahn.
If you go during the summer anyway. Well, no, is that one? I don't remember if that one's the one that's covered or not. Oh, well, you can look that up. Yeah, you can look that up.
The ones in Austin aren't, or in the Austin area, I should say.
But there's one that's under a dome, so I don't know if that one's that one or not. But they have a wide variety of rooms as well.
And ocean view rooms.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
you can pretend you're in Hawaii.
Kind of.
A little bit, sort of.
You'll see the tankers go by, though, so
Yeah. And then I would assume you could see good sunrises from there.
Yes.
Because it's facing the east.
Yes. They have awesome sunrises.
Yeah.
And the rooms aren't very expensive, so
that might be a really good choice if you're looking to get away but not spend too terribly much money.
yeah.
Next one, Omni Barton Creek Resort and Spa in Austin, Texas.
Woohoo!
Now, they have almost all the same stuff as everybody else, but it seems that they have tennis courts, too, if you're into tennis. Mm-hmm. Lovely grounds. I mean, if you look up the photo gallery, it's just beautiful. I mean, green rolling hills and lots of big blue sky and very Texas.
Yeah, it's west of Austin, and it's on Barton Creek. So,
there's water there.
Yeah. You might see some deer.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Or snakes.
Or apparently coyotes are a big thing now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyway, every day on ours is a new neighborhood. We're getting off the subject here, and so it was nothing but ranch land before, and so they're putting all these houses up. Well, there's been so many coyote sightings.
Aw. Poor coyotes have nowhere to go.
I know.
Nowhere to roam.
They're just roaming around the neighborhood at night.
Oh, jeez. Bring in your cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Just saying. So they have the Three Springs Spa, and they offer one-of-a-kind treatments inspired by the tranquility of the hill country. So I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it sounds very enticing. They also have the Barton's Lounge, where they serve locally brewed beers and cocktails. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Dining, a couple different dining rooms.
And they have pools, of course, and a golf course, because, and tennis. So.
Mm-hmm. And you could also have your wedding there, too, if you wanted to.
You can make it a destination. Austin is an awesome place to have a wedding, a destination wedding.
It is, yeah. It is, because you could even have it late into the year.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk more about Dripping Springs, which is called the wedding capital of Texas now, in a couple of weeks. So get ready for that one. And let's see. They have standard rooms. They have queen bedrooms. They have, suites with king beds. And that's about it. Mm-hmm. They're nice rooms.
All right. The next one is the Gaylord Texan Resort and Convention Center in Grapevine, Texas. Now, my brother used to work for this company or at that place. And I remember him saying how awesome it was. And they always do every holiday up really, really good. So like Christmas, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but it looks fantastic. And it's like it can be like a family getaway even.
Yeah. So this is in Grapevine, which is right next to DFW Airport and on Lake Grapevine. So, it's easy to get to.
It is.
There's a whole bunch of shopping around there.
Yes.
And it has this dome in the middle of the resort that's it has like Texas scenery all in it, from the desert to the coast. So you've got the hill country in there, you got the desert, you got the pine forest, and all of this stuff under this dome. So it's kind of cool.
It's called the Atrium. Mm-hmm. And you've got rooms, all kinds. You've got executive suites, all the way just to the normal guest room, but they're still really pretty. Mm-hmm. And you have atrium views and, things like that. You can just kind of choose what you like.
Yeah, it has indoor-outdoor pools. Mm-hmm. It has a spa. It does not have golf.
Are you sure?
Well, it doesn't say that on the amenities on TripAdvisor.
Oh, I thought they all had golf. They do have a fitness center.
But there are golf courses around.
Oh, okay. Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's like, you want to play golf, you can play golf. I can guarantee that.
But you can play golf in Texas all year round.
Mm-hmm. And you're right there where the Cowboys play, pretty close. So
yeah, and you have Six Flags. Mm-hmm. Down there a little bit, and then you have. Is there still a huge mall there? I haven't been there in forever.
I think so. Mall of America?
No, it's a Grapevine Mills, I think.
Oh, Grapevine Mills, yes. Grapevine Mills Mall. Yeah, like if you look at the picture of the property, they also have a lazy river.
Yeah.
It's huge. Nice.
Mm-hmm. And so the next one is the JW San Antonio Hill Country Resort the JW Marriott San Antonio Hill Country Resort and Spa. That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. We're back in San Antonio again.
Yes.
We've got lots of water. They have a lazy river.
Yes.
They have golf.
They have golf.
They have a spa.
Yes.
They have luxurious rooms, if I can say that correctly.
They have multiple pools. They have an adult-only pool, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Especially if you're there for your honeymoon.
Right.
Hello.
And, of course, it features a 36-hole TPC San Antonio golf course. And it's home to the Valero, Texas Open. Okay. Yeah.
So this is near the Natural Bridge Caverns, so you could check out the caverns. That would be pretty cool. I've done a few of those around Texas, and I really it's just amazing to see what's actually going on under there.
Yeah, there are 7 restaurants at this hotel, so you have all kinds of eating choices, and of course, there's probably steak, and there's probably Mexican. So there you go.
That's not probably. I'm certain there is. So you can get your taste of everything and anything that you want.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is the Horseshoe Bay Resort in Texas Hill Country, which is very close to Austin, right outside of.
Yeah, it's about an hour drive west of Austin. It's on Horseshoe Bay.
Which means it's on the water.
Yes, and it's the Colorado River, but, they have a system of dams, so you get a lot of lakes on the Colorado River. And so they have their own marina, so you can go boating. I'm sure they have boats for rent.
They have a really nice spa and fitness area. You can do spa and even salon services, so if you need your hair done too. Of course, golf.
Yes. And a heated pool.
Oh, how nice is that?
There's tennis. And it's a whole little community. Mm-hmm. So it's just not like one hotel. It's like they have like condos there and golf and the lake with the marina and all kinds of stuff. So
they even have private homes.
Yes.
It's a really interesting, different type of place. I know my dad has visited there for a meeting, and I remember him saying how awesome it was. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Have you ever been out here?" I'm like, "No, I just never have had the chance."
Well, I did a wedding out there, so it was really kind of nice outside in October. So.
Oh, I think that would be a really pretty place too.
Yeah. And it's on the shores of Lake LBJ, but it's called Horseshoe Bay.
Okay.
Just wanted to say that.
All right. And the last one that we have is the Lost Pines Resort and Spa it's Cedar Creek, but it's also like right next to Bastrop.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So this one is very laid back Texas. Mm-hmm. This because you're not in the hill country, so you're going more toward the ranch lands and stuff of Texas, and so it's kind of laid back. It's kind of laid out like a ranch. Mm-hmm. The main building is like an old plantation home, which is really pretty. It has big porches. You have rocking chairs on the porches, and out back at night they have planned activities, like they have a big, huge fire pit, mm-hmm. and they do s'mores. Mm-hmm.
Now, we have been out there. We haven't really seen the rooms, but have you seen the rooms?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are good. Some of them, are just the basic rooms, but some of the nicer ones.
Mm-hmm. They do have cottages, too.
Yes. And, of course, they have golf. They have tennis. They have an adult pool.
Yay for adult pools.
Yes.
They have trails. You can walk or ride horses and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they have a water park, even. Yes.
So, I mean, it's an all-in-one thing because there's not really much around there to go do.
Right. You definitely have to drive.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could go into Bastrop. It's kind of a cool town. You can go to Smithville. It's a little bitty town. But, yeah, there's not much.
Ooh. They have the Scribes Club, which is a library-style lounge with comfy seating and great reads. How cool is that? I love it. Then they have, of course, a steakhouse.
Yes. You can't be in Texas and not have steak. Sorry.
But come on. It's going to be good. Ice cream saloon, excuse me. I mean, it just looks like a really nice place to go and stay for the weekend.
Yeah.
And spa. You've got a spa, of course.
And of course, like we said, golf and tennis. So. And if you want to have your wedding out there, they have a really nice pavilion to have your wedding there. And then you can go have it in go have your reception in one of the ballrooms or whatever, but you can have an outdoor wedding. So it's nice. So that's all of our Minimoon destinations.
If you want to check out the Minimoons and pop-ups in Washington, we had a episode about that. It was from ringtovail.com/71, or find number 71 in your podcast app.
We also have a link. It's from ringtovail.com/Texas Minimoon that has like day trips available, and there's some different destinations in there as well. So check those out too.
Now we are going to move on to the pop-up wedding options you have in Texas. And we found quite a few actually, which I was surprised at.
So if you don't remember what a pop-up wedding is, it's basically an elopement, and they take care of everything. Your photography, your flowers, your cake. But if you just want it to be between you two, they can provide witnesses, or if you want to invite your close family and friends. This is not really much planning into this. You give them basically the control, and they'll meet you somewhere, and, you can have your wedding.
Yeah. So it seems like a super easy way to go.
Yeah.
Right. Number 1 on our list is called Pop-Up Wedding Houston. And they do offer planning in advance. They're one of the ones that do that. So they will work with you a little bit. I mean, I'm sure it's not the whole thing, but you do get options on some things.
Right. And it says if you want a quick wedding, you're in the military, you're leaving town soon, or you're madly in love and you can't wait another second, no problem. You can book as short as 2 weeks out. So, I mean, if you're just like, let's go get married. Mm-hmm. So,
there you go.
2 weeks to plan it.
They are all inclusive. They handle the consultation, of course, venue, the styling, the officiant, photo shoot, cake, reception, a really small reception.
Yeah, 10
flowers, music, everything. It's everything. Plus, they have add-ons that are optional.
Yeah, and so they say, what do you need to bring with you is your marriage certificate. You're married, the one that you go to the courthouse for to be able to get married. Up to 10 guests and witnesses, you and your loved one, and you're dressed and you're ready to go. So you take care of whatever you're going to wear. They don't have anything to do with that.
So that one seems like a really cool one, and they work out of Houston. So if you're in the Houston area, contact them. And we will have links to all these places, including the Minimoons, on our show notes, which is from ringtovail.com/151. Or they should show up in your podcasting app that you're listening to us on.
So the next one is called Pop and Go Weddings, and it's in Denton, which is kind of northwest of Dallas. And they have all kinds of packages. So they provide the officiant, the photographer, the bouquet for the bride, and the boutonniere for the groom, and a small cake or cupcakes and a champagne toast. And they will meet with you, discuss locations, or where you want to have this. So, I mean, that's basically what a pop-up wedding is. That's what you get.
That's right. It's very simple, very easy. It seems like they take care of everything. It's just a small, short, sweet package.
Yeah, and she does other things as well. They have the DIY assistants. If you're doing a DIY thing, but you need some kind of help, they'll do that. And then they have the month of coordination, which they, a month out, they will start helping you assist with your full-size wedding, too. So they have both. And that is Pop and Go Weddings in Denton, Texas.
All right, our next one, I just love this. Pop-up Wedding, Marfa, Texas. I just think Marfa is the funniest name. I have been to Marfa. And there's nothing really out there. So the way they describe it is think Vegas wedding only with a vintage trailer in far west Texas.
Yes.
It's super cute. They have a package that includes, of course, the officiant, photographer, wedding cake, adult beverages, bouquet and boutonniere, and a vintage trailer hauled anywhere within 60 miles of Marfa. It's just a cute little vintage trailer. I mean, like, how fun is that?
And you got to realize, if you haven't been to West Texas, there's nothing out there. So if you get married at night, you'll see stars and the moon.
Oh, yes.
If it's clear, So there's no city lights. There's no light pollution. You can get married under the stars. You can get married in the daytime. Hopefully it's not too hot.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Might be a little warm.
So anyway,
I think this is a really cool concept. They take care of everything. They've got a little trailer for you to get ready in, and you're done. You could do it in the middle of the desert, with nothing around. They've got a picture of a very small little chapel with the little trailers parked outside. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like cute. I mean, it's super cute. If it's just you and your significant other, I mean, you don't really need much more.
Yeah, I'm sure there's somebody there to witness, so it'll be legal.
Of course, yes. Of course. But they are part of another, West Texas Weddings affiliate thing. So it's just part of their add-on services, it seems like. So I just think that's so cute. I love it.
So the next one is called the Elopement Collective. And they are everywhere. They're all over the world. They're in the United States. I think they come to you.
So their thing is they create elopements, not weddings. They create intimate moments for you and your partner to become a married couple. And they don't want, I think their thing is they're not going to do this huge, big blowout wedding. They're going to do a very small elopement. And the reason it's called a collective is because they have people everywhere. So it's a collection of people that work together to do these small, intimate elopement weddings.
And then the next one is called the PopUp Wedding Company, or the PopUp Wedding Co.
Yeah.
And they are in Texas, Florida, Alabama, South Carolina, Louisiana, Colorado, Washington, New Mexico, Utah, Georgia, and Venice. Is that Venice, California, or is that Venice, Italy?
I imagine Italy, but I'm not certain.
Okay.
How it works is you choose the date and location, you show off your personality, and then you get hitched. Period.
Yep.
It's, that's the thing with pop-ups. They're really easy, simple, and most of the time they're small.
Right.
They're just really small celebrations.
Which I like because I'm an introvert. So
yeah, that would work great for you.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all we have for pop-up weddings in Texas. Now, I'm sure you can find some more. And if you do, let us know. We'll add it to this list. But you can find all the links to all these on our show notes from ringtheveil.com/151. And now it's
listener question time.
Hello. I got engaged in June and have really been enjoying your podcast. Yes. Thank you for making a show that is down to earth and fun. I'm curious on your thoughts about a few things. And this is awesome because we could have made probably a whole show out of this. But
yes,
let's go. Number 1.
I can't decide if I want to spend the money on a professional videographer, but I don't want to regret not having one.
Okay. I think we have talked about this, but let us make clear. You need a videographer, and you will want a videographer. If you do not get one, you will regret it. Period.
Yes. But, I mean, if it's not a priority, then, So, anyway. But we recommend a videographer because it shows it's live, it's not live action, but it shows you some of the things behind the scenes and things like that you may forget during the day, because your photographer takes still shots. Mm-hmm. they don't know what's going, what happened before or after or, things like that. So the videographer really gets down and dirty into the day, I guess you can say.
Okay. Yeah. And plus, like, let's say they're in the other getting ready room and you're not, you don't know what's going on over there. It's just, it gives you a little piece of what's going on over in the other room, I think.
Yeah. And so she asked, how do you suggest I narrow my search for a budget-friendly or perhaps more traditional options? We do have an episode about videography. It was by our friend Reed. We love Reed. Mm-hmm. And it was episode number 29. So you can check that out. He can tell you how to interview one and things like that. So you get the one that you really want that'll fit your style.
Mm-hmm. I also would suggest getting into some groups, wedding groups, where you live. So let's say you live in Austin, join some Facebook wedding groups and ask for recommendations, because I think that's the best way to find great vendors of any kind.
Right. And they're usually vendors. They're usually vendor and bridal groups or something like that, where you can have vendors in that, but you're also a bride and you can ask these vendors questions.
Exactly.
So I would do that. If it's a priority for you, you're going to make the budget conscious decision of what to eliminate, what to cut back on, and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Number 2, what is your guideline for filling the guest list? What is your protocol for inviting people you have not had contact with for several years and were important to you in a previous time in your life? We had a great episode, number 24, all about the guest list and tips on who you should invite. We suggest going back and listening to that because we answer these questions in that show.
But I would say if you have not had contact with these people in a while, are they still important to you?
Good question.
I'm not trying to be mean, but if you haven't had contact with them in like 10 years, and they don't even know you're getting married, and if you're having like a limited guest count, I would do close friends and family first, and then see where you are after that. And it gives you all those, there's all kinds of examples in that episode. So, number 3, this is a part of contention for me. And as you know, I'm a floral designer by trade most of the time. So, anyway, I'm considering DIYing my bouquets. What is your recommended vendor for flowers? Also, is this a terrible idea? Yes. I'm quite good with DIY, but I don't want to take too much of a risk. Okay. For one thing, are you going to be putting these bouquets together? If you are, you're going to have to do them the day before your wedding. How busy are you going to be that day? You're going to be going to the spa. You're going to get your nails done, your hair done, all of this stuff done. You're not going to have time to do this. Plus, being a professional floral designer, I know how to cut the flowers, to hydrate them, and everything like that. Do you know how to do that? And if you don't, they might die on you. Because if you don't cut the stems, you don't hydrate them correctly, they're not going to open up. They're not going to, hydrate. They're going to be floppy.
Yes, and each flower, from what I've learned, has a different way that it needs to be stored and processed. So, like one flower, you could do this thing with it, and then the next flower, don't do that because that will kill it. Right. So it's like, and you are not supposed to mix certain flowers together in water. So there's a lot to know.
Right.
There's a lot to know. And,
if you're doing dahlias, how do you get them not to shatter, which means their petals will all fall off? So there's a reason
there are floral designers. And if you're just doing it because you need to save money, then you need to find a floral designer that will work within your budget.
Right. And yes, you want high-end flowers, but there's always perfectly satisfying, perfectly, what is that word I'm looking for?
Acceptable.
Perfectly acceptable alternatives.
That's right.
So contact a floral designer. Even if it's just your bouquets, you pay you want your bouquets are going to be in most of your pictures. Mm-hmm. You don't want them to be dead. You don't want them to be not hydrated and floppy and not open. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I think this is a terrible idea.
Here's the deal. If you can hire a professional for this, do it. Absolutely do it.
But if you can't, then find somebody who is talented in this, hopefully, that's in your family or your wedding party, because you are not going to have time to do this. Mm-hmm.
Our point is to help you have less stress and less worry and all the headache right there before your wedding day. We want you to enjoy your wedding day. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's not beat that one with a stick. Okay. Number 4. What are your thoughts on how to choose or create a new last name for both bride and groom to take together?
I'm not going to talk about this. You can talk about that.
Well, this is... Oh, I thought it was snowing again. It's just raining pine needles. Okay. I was like, oh no, it's snowing. Okay, this one is up to you. We can't tell you how to do this because this is a very personal thing, and that is totally up to you. I personally am of the thought that I like to take my husband's name. I'm now, we're now a family, and I am a Mills, and that's the way it goes. I personally wouldn't consider changing both of our names and all that. There's a family behind it all, and that's my personal choice. So this is something you have to figure out.
You can hyphenate, that's fine. Or I have my friend from high school, she got married, she was very independent, and she already had a name for herself out in the world because she's some kind of specialist in some kind of field. And so she kept her maiden name. Mm-hmm. Because that's what she was known as in her field. So she kept her maiden name, and her kids have her husband's name. They are not blah blah hyphen blah blah. They are their husband's. They are her husband's last name. So I mean, it's up to you. I don't like to create a new name. I think that's weird. Mm-hmm. So that's my opinion. I was going to stay out of it, but I couldn't.
All right, next. Last question.
I have a wedding planning app with a checklist that makes me feel like I'm 3 months behind, but people keep balking at how ahead I am, and I'm confused. Some things seem reasonable to do 7 months in advance, but others not so much. What are your major planning guidelines starting at about 7 to 8 months until the wedding? So on episode number 4, we have a wedding planning timeline. Mm-hmm. It's called Want Less Stress? Here's a wedding planning timeline. And most of that on the date ranges is correct. There's a couple of things on there that, we would say get earlier. Like, we know makeup and hair people fill up really, really fast.
They do. Especially here. I don't know why, but...
Yeah. So if you are going to get a makeup and hair person, as soon as you get engaged, you need to start inquiring about those. Mm-hmm. Or as soon as you know your date.
Yes, your date.
And it's at least 12 to 18 months in advance because they fill up fast. Just like venues. If you want a certain date, most of them fill up to 1 to 2 years in advance, especially if you're getting married in, the wedding months. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that has a big part of it too. If you're getting married in high season, when everybody else is getting married, then you really need to put a big jump on everything. And it sounds like you already are ahead, according to your friends who are telling you that how ahead you are. Sounds like you're right on track. But yes, you really do need to hire a florist. I mean, a year in advance if you can. I say hire them as soon as you can. Check it off your list.
Yeah. And most hotels, I don't know if they do a year in advance. I guess some do.
Depends.
For the block of rooms. I would call them and ask.
Yeah. Call them and ask. Yeah. But do look up episode number 4. You could find that on the website also, and it's there for you to print off if you want to.
Right.
So hopefully we've answered your questions. We tried the best we can. Again, we're not professional
these are our
psychologists or psychiatrists or anything like that, or doctors.
Yeah.
This is just from, working in the industry. This is what we know.
Yes.
And congratulations and good luck with the wedding.
Remember, you can reach us at any time by emailing us at info@fromringtovail.com.
Subscribe to the podcast. Why aren't you subscribed? You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube. We're all over Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram.
Yeah.
Where else? Everything. Not Snapchat.
We're too old for Snapchat.
We're not too old. We're just too lazy to learn it.
Or don't understand it. Yeah. Okay. So until next time, no stress, no worries. Keep calm and listen on.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. You can find us on Facebook, From Ring to Vail, on Twitter, @From Ring to Vail, and on our website, FromRingToVail.com.
Music provided by bensound.com.